So Twitter took me from sort of being a woman entrepreneur to being the CEO of a 9-person team that's venture funded. I mean, Twitter made me grow up and get my woman entrepreneur wings. It's been crazy. I had a consulting business. I tweeted enthusiastically about life, a little bit about business, and suddenly one day realized all my new leads were coming from Twitter.
Right.
And they were coming in pre-qualified. They were coming in not saying, oh, give me a capabilities presentation on your consulting practice. They were coming in, we know how your mind works, we like your ideas, we want to work with you.
Well, there's no better sales tool than that, to have somebody who is somebody who's pre-qualified and looking for business, because as a marketing consultant, quite frankly, I'm also dealing with, as everyone else is, the person that wants you, that needs your service, but also wants not to pay you as much as maybe you'd like to make in order to pay your mortgage and put clothing on your kids' backs, right? So if you were to give out 4 points about what are the best things to do, or the mindset to share with people so that they can use Twitter better?
I'm glad you asked for 4, because I literally have a 4-word guide to social media. If you do these 4 things, you're going to be just fine. You need to listen. You want to use measurement, analytics, monitoring tools, even a simple search tool. Listen to what's going on in your sphere. Search for keywords, search for product names, just listen. Learn. Be willing to change, be willing to experiment, be willing to take risks, be willing to try stuff. Care. If you are doing this earnestly, it doesn't matter how many etiquette rules you break, someone's going to help you and get you back on path. And serve. Focus on the core problem your business solves, and put out lots of content and enthusiasm and ideas about how to solve that problem. And the idea doesn't always have to be your product. It can be related. Do what you do best, link to the rest. It's a great way to share content and become the go-to authority in your sphere.
When you're doing all of this, though, you know what the challenge is as a small business owner, and for many people, they're solopreneurs.
Right.
How much time can they take away from the actual doing of the business and the mechanics of running the business? What's a practical guide that you can give people?
It's surprisingly efficient. If you are in small business, chances are you are doing the Chamber of Commerce circuit, you are going to charity events, you're going to mixers, you're going to workshops and conferences. Those are not time-efficient things to do. I mean, I lived in the suburbs of Philadelphia when I was running my communications business, and I remember days that by the time the alarm clock, the shower, the suit, the makeup, the hair, the car, the drive to Philly, the 45-minute networking event, 3 business cards that were not really great leads, and the drive home, 5 hours of my day was gone. You can jump on Twitter, see a bunch of people, meet a bunch of people in your pajamas after hours after your kids have gone to bed. You can do it quickly in the morning. I mean, you take time in the morning to read the Wall Street Journal. Take time in the morning to see what people in your market are saying. Take time in the morning to skim the Wall Street Journal, because if you follow the people on Twitter who are really core to your business segment, they're going to tweet out the links to the articles that are the most important that day, and you don't have to dig through it all yourself. And it actually, some people are afraid Twitter will be an information overload. It can cut down your information overload. It's a filtering tool, because you find the authorities to follow, you see what they're talking about, and you learn a ton on the fly. Half hour a day.
So that gives us some structure, because I know that some people feel that they're totally overwhelmed, that they can't possibly fit another thing in. And while I know that you're not totally negating the value of going to conferences, we're at a conference right now at TWTRCON, but you can't do it every day. And we're
joke about networking. Everybody knows networking is important, but there's the old joke about not working, right? Networking is not working because it just takes so much of your time. If you can be meeting people, if you can be getting your ideas out there, it's a lot more time efficient than sending a ton of press releases to journalists who frankly don't want it. It can be a lot more time efficient to really haphazard networking meetings where you really don't know who you're going to meet.
So focusing on what your core competencies are, and the journalists, as you pointed out in your talk this morning, the journalists will find you because they are out trolling in Twitter,
and you can find them and answer their questions. I obviously, now that I run the App Store for Twitter, journalists who care about Twitter tools are very important to me. Well, one night, I'm a single mom too. I've got a 3- and 4-year-old, and I've been at this for 3 years, so right through their babyhood. I was snuggled in the crib with my daughter, getting her to sleep. Yeah, I had my BlackBerry with me because she takes a long time to settle down. And I saw a tweet from Julia Angwin of the Wall Street Journal that she had just installed a certain Twitter app on her phone, and I knew something about that app that she wouldn't like. And so I just tweeted her, at Julia Angwin, turn off the location default, otherwise it's going to broadcast where you are at every moment. I got a note right back from Julia. Thank you so much. I didn't know that about this tool, right?
Well,
so
and that's the problem.
If I go back to her and say, hey, I have another Twitter tools story, it's going to be a lot easier to get in front of her than it would have been. So you don't even have to wait for them to find you. You can just be helpful to people.
Right. Which is what you're trying to do with your company right now, to tell people, to help people, because a lot of times those of us who are non-technically oriented, we don't even know what we don't know.
Yeah. I did not get all the speaking gigs, all the press coverage, the book deal, any of it by promoting myself, believe it or not. I got it by just being goofy and enthusiastic and trying to figure out how to help as many people as I can. One of the VCs who has helped me a lot is a guy named Brad Feld. He was interviewed for a site called TWTRCON that I'd also been interviewed for. So the interviewer said literally, why help Laura Fitton? Why give a damn about her? From all the people asking you for stuff. And he said, well, she's so enthusiastic. Don't you just want to help her? But he also said, she's giving to so many people all the time. You want to give back to her. And she's very efficient with your time. She asks very specific things. So it can feel pretty haphazard, and that can be tough in business. And engagement on social media can feel a little bit too chaotic for some people. Now, I have a chaotic personality, so it worked well for me.
No, but you also point out,
open to opportunities. The biggest deal things that have happened to me were almost entirely non-strategic.
Right, and also just by testing.
Horizon, I was testing different things.
Right.
I noticed an opportunity when it happened, and I've been very lucky.
Well, we thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. We know you're very, very busy, so we'll catch up with you definitely and keep track of what you're doing and how you're growing and evolving as the medium is growing and evolving.
Thank you
so again, this is Patty Simone for WomenEntrepreneur.com, and we've been talking with Laura Fitton, a.k.a. Pistachio, on Twitter, and the name of her company is
140.com, ONEFORTY, spelled out. It's a little salute to the length of a tweet, is 140 characters. And hopefully you can go there and find what other people are using for their small businesses, for their entrepreneurial endeavors, what kinds of tools make sense, and how to make sense of the chaos that is Twitter.
Okay. Great. Thanks so much, Laura.
Thank you.